You ever notice how talking about outboard engines turns regular people into die-hard philosophers? One guy swears by his Yamaha like it's a religion. Another says Mercury has more raw power than his ex's temper. And somehow, everyone's uncle used to work at OMC and knows the real story. But here's the thing. Japanese and American outboards aren't just different, they're practically raised on opposite sides of the brain. This isn't just about boats, it's about culture, engineering, and why one side uses torque specs while the other uses duct tape. So, why are they so different? Let's find out. This isn't just a difference in design, it's a full-blown philosophical clash. Japanese outboards are built with the kind of discipline you'd expect from a culture that folds paper into cranes and turns rice into art. Yamaha, Suzuki, Honda, they don't just make engines, they craft legacies. Every bolt is tightened like it matters, every engine is built to outlive its owner. Quiet, precise, reliable. You'll never see them shouting at the dock. They let their 1,000-hour logs do the talking. Now swing across the Pacific. American outboards are born in the land of muscle cars, monster trucks, and Super Bowl halftime shows. Mercury isn't trying to be subtle. It's trying to be unforgettable. Big power, big features, big statements. A V12 with a steerable gear case. Why not? If Yamaha's building a samurai sword, Mercury's building a sledgehammer. With Wi-Fi. This isn't just about motors, it's about mindset. Japan believes greatness is proven over time, through silence, consistency, and craftsmanship. America believes greatness is earned by pushing boundaries, breaking molds, and making noise while doing it. And here's where it gets spicy. Both are right, and both think the other is completely missing the point. The Japanese quietly judge American motors for being flashy and fragile. The Americans scoff at Japanese engines for being, well, kind of boring. It's calm versus chaos, endurance versus excitement, precision versus power. So, when someone at the boat ramp says, "Why are these motors so different?" what they're really asking is, why are we so different? And the answer, because one side is playing the long game, and the other is trying to win the race before you even launch. Team Japan or Team USA? Who's your pick? Drop a comment and let the debate begin already. And don't forget to subscribe for more head-to-heads like this. When it comes to outboards, a few names dominate the dockside debates, and most of them come from either Japan or the US. On the Japanese side, you've got Yamaha, Suzuki, and Honda, a trio that practically defines reliability. Yamaha is the rock star of the group, known for engines that keep going long after your patience gives out. It's the motor you buy when you want zero surprises and 3,000 hours of peace and quiet. Suzuki's the stealthy genius, not flashy, but insanely efficient, and surprisingly torquey for something that rarely makes a sound. Then there's Honda, the responsible older sibling, quiet, composed, and efficient. It's the kind of engine that would drive your boat home, clean up after itself, and still get 8 hours of sleep. Then you've got the Americans. Mercury is the undeniable showstopper. Big engines, bold moves, and packed with tech. Whether you're cruising a quiet lake or launching into open water with a 600 horsepower sea monster, Mercury has something loud and ready. It's a brand that's never afraid to experiment, which makes it both exciting and slightly unpredictable. Evinrude and Johnson, they were the rebels of the industry. Innovative, aggressive, and a little chaotic. They're gone now, but their legacy still sparks debate. And then there's Tohatsu, technically Japanese, but often powering American-branded motors behind the scenes. It's the under-the-radar MVP, quietly building the engines that others put their name on. These brands don't just build engines, they build reputations, and in this arena, every badge on a cowling carries years of innovation, pride, and the occasional bit of corporate espionage. When it comes to tech, Mercury isn't just pushing the envelope, it's tearing it open and mailing it back with GPS tracking. Think digital throttles, joystick steering, active trim, and that monstrous V12 with a steerable gear case that sounds like it came from a sci-fi chase scene. Mercury doesn't build motors, they build control centers. Their SmartCraft system and vessel view screens track everything short of your cholesterol. It's less an engine, more an onboard AI with attitude. Now contrast that with Yamaha, the Zen master of marine tech. No flashy rollouts, no surprise firmware updates, just rock-solid engineering that focuses on dependability over dazzle. Their Helmmaster EX isn't trying to impress you with bells and whistles, it just works. It's built for captains who want control, not a second career in tech support. Honda takes a different route altogether. Their outboards feel like they were designed in a lab full of engineers who believe in quiet competence. Everything is smooth, clean, and almost eerily silent. Innovation? Sure, but only where it's absolutely needed. Think of it as the outboard equivalent of a well-tuned hybrid. It won't win street races, but it'll outlast the competition in comfort. And then there's Suzuki, the marine world's best-kept secret. Their high-horsepower four-strokes are torque machines, and their behind-the-scenes tech, like lean burn and selective rotation, quietly delivers performance where it counts. Not loud, not flashy, just smart. So who's the innovator? Mercury owns the stage, Yamaha owns the trust, Honda plays it safe and smooth. Suzuki? They're quietly reinventing the game from the shadows. It's not just what your engine can do, it's what it does when nobody's watching. If there's one topic that can turn a calm day at the dock into a full-blown marine debate, it's this: which outboard actually lasts the longest? Ask around and you'll hear a familiar answer. Japan, more specifically Yamaha and Honda. These brands didn't earn their reputation in ad campaigns. They earned it hour by hour, year by year, in salt, sun, and sludge. Yamaha especially has reached almost mythic status. People say things like, "Mine's got over 3,000 hours and still runs like I just pulled the kill switch yesterday." You half expect the engine to tuck itself in at night. Honda's not far behind. If Yamaha is the tank, Honda is the surgeon. Quiet, calculated, refined. Built with the same DNA as their cars, Honda outboards are efficient, low maintenance, and run like they've been programmed to never embarrass themselves. Now Suzuki, that's your underdog. It doesn't shout for attention, but it's quietly racking up loyal followers. With its lean burn technology and mid-range durability, Suzuki's the engine that shows up, does the job, and disappears into the mist. No drama, no breakdowns. Then there's Mercury. Once upon a time, Mercury outboards were, let's say, moody. The old two-strokes were either your best friend or the reason you learned how to paddle. But that was then. Today's Mercury, especially the Verado series, is a completely different animal. Built tougher, smarter, and way more dependable, you can tell they've studied the Japanese playbook, and maybe cribbed a few answers. Still, when it comes to trust, the kind you need when you're 40 miles offshore and the wind's picking up, Yamaha remains the reigning champ. It's not hype, it's history. Yamaha didn't just earn customer loyalty, it earned respect. Because at the end of the day, flashy features are fun, but starting every time, that's priceless. Got a motor that's never let you down, or one that's left you paddling? Tell us your war stories in the comments, and hit subscribe for more real-world reviews and boating truths. Think your outboard's a proud product of its homeland? Think again. In today's marine industry, the birthplace of your engine is more global relay race than patriotic blueprint. Let's start with Yamaha. You might picture lab-coated engineers in Japan meticulously assembling engines with samurai precision, and you'd be half right. But a surprising number of Yamaha outboards destined for the US market are actually built or assembled in the American South, places like Georgia and Tennessee. That's right, your made-in-Japan workhorse may have been born within earshot of a barbecue joint and a bass tournament. Still, don't worry, the DNA is pure Yamaha. Same engineering, same reliability, just a different zip code. Now take Mercury, the star-spangled symbol of American marine muscle. Its large engines, as all-American as a Wisconsin tailgate, designed and built in Fond du Lac. But the smaller ones, those under 30 horsepower models, surprise, they're made by Tohatsu in Japan. So, while your Mercury might have US swagger, its heartbeat may come courtesy of Tokyo. And just when you think the waters couldn't get murkier, Yamaha actually supplies some powerheads to Mercury. Yes, the very rival Mercury competes within showrooms. It's a bit like Coke borrowing syrup from Pepsi. Awkward, but business is business. The truth is, brand labels don't always reflect manufacturing reality. In this globalized game, efficiency trumps geography. Corporate partnerships crisscross the Pacific, and supply chains are built on strategy, not symbolism. So what does that mean for you? That Japanese engine might have been raised in Dixie, and your American outboard might speak fluent metric. But here's the real point. What matters isn't the flag on the box, it's the build quality under the cowling. Because whether it's assembled in Osaka or Omaha, when you're miles from shore, only one question really matters. Will it start? Let's be honest, buying an outboard isn't like picking up milk and eggs. It's a major investment, and most boaters want to know one thing: who's giving me the most motor for my money? If you're shopping with value in mind, Suzuki and Honda are your best-kept secrets. Suzuki flies under the radar, but its pricing is almost criminally good for what you get. Dependable performance, great fuel economy, and rugged builds that rarely flinch. It's the kind of motor that quietly outperforms expectations, and your wallet will thank you. Honda comes with a slightly higher price tag, but you're buying into a legacy of reliability and refinement. The engines run smooth, quiet, and efficient, perfect for boaters who want a low-maintenance, high-integrity companion on the water. Then there's Yamaha and Mercury, the premium-tier contenders. Yamaha costs more up front, but it's hard to argue with what you're getting. Bulletproof reliability, outstanding resale value, and decades of proven performance. Mercury isn't far behind, offering serious power and bleeding-edge tech. Joystick controls, digital throttles, onboard diagnostics. But that innovation comes at a price, both in dollars and potential complexity. Now onto warranties, the safety net we all pretend we won't need. Yamaha plays it straight. 3 years of solid coverage, no fluff, no loopholes. Mercury, ever the showman, offers extended platinum plans that sound luxurious, but often come with more fine print than a yacht club membership form. Honda strikes a balance, dependable coverage, fewer service visits, and easy-to-find parts. Suzuki frequently wins here with promotional 5-year warranties that deliver surprising bang for your buck. So, what's the bottom line? You'll either pay more up front for peace of mind, or pay less now and hope you're not funding surprise repairs later. Either way, make sure what you're buying isn't just shiny. Make sure it's worth it when the tide turns. So here's the question that boaters have debated for decades, often over beers, wrenches, and more than a few busted knuckles. Are Japanese and American outboards really that different? The simple answer, yes and no. Classic marine answer, right? Mechanically, they all do the same thing. Suck in air and fuel, spit out exhaust, and push your boat through the water. But under the hood, or more accurately under the cowling, that's where the personalities start to shine. Yamaha, for instance, is like the reliable friend who always shows up early, brings the good snacks, and quietly fixes your trailer light without making a fuss. These engines are all about consistency, precision, and the kind of quiet confidence that comes from never leaving someone stranded at sea. You'll rarely see a Yamaha boast online because their owners are too busy racking up trouble-free hours. Mercury, on the other hand, it's the loud, charismatic cousin who always shows up to the marina in a lifted truck, plays with every gadget, and somehow always has the latest tech first. Mercury engines are fast, powerful, and packed with features that make boating feel more like flying a spaceship. You're not just getting from A to B. You're doing it with digital throttle, active trim, and more sensors than your local hospital. Then there's Suzuki, the introvert with perfect grades, understated but surprisingly powerful. Suzuki outboards don't get the spotlight, but anyone who owns one will tell you they're efficient, torquey, and sneaky reliable. It's the quiet performer that makes you wonder why more people aren't talking about it. And Honda's your dad's best friend. Polite, responsible, and probably drinks black coffee. Nothing wild, nothing experimental, just clean, consistent performance. You won't win a drag race, but you'll always make it home. So yes, they're different. Not in what they do, but in how they do it. Japan tends to focus on longevity, balance, and perfection. The US leans into innovation, boldness, and user customization. But here's the twist, they're slowly morphing into each other. Yamaha's been adding more tech, Mercury's been doubling down on reliability, Suzuki's getting more confident, even flashy. And Honda's still methodical, but you can feel the edges softening. It's like a global game of copycat, with better outboards as the prize. Now for the juicy part, because every good rivalry comes with a little drama, and the marine world has its share of quiet scandals. Rewind to the 1970s and 80s. Yamaha and other Japanese brands were just entering the US market, and American companies like OMC, the powerhouse behind Evinrude and Johnson, weren't exactly rolling out the welcome mat. In fact, when Yamaha's early two-strokes hit American shores, they looked a little too familiar. So familiar, in fact, that OMC reportedly accused Yamaha of lifting their designs, nearly bolt for bolt. The result? Legal battles, licensing deals, and one very tense industry standoff. But instead of fighting dirty, Yamaha did something smarter. They went back to the drawing board, redesigned everything, improved quality, and emerged stronger. The brand that was once accused of copying, it became the gold standard. Proof that sometimes getting sued is the best R&D investment. Fast forward a few decades and now it's Mercury under the microscope. Some whispers in the industry claim that Mercury's latest four-strokes bear more than a passing resemblance to Yamaha internals. Similar layouts, nearly identical gear case architecture, rumors that Yamaha engineers might be living rent-free in Mercury's design labs. Coincidence? Competitive convergence? Or poetic payback? Truth is, in this business, copying isn't scandal, it's strategy. The marine world doesn't run on originality alone, it runs on evolution. Brands borrow, tweak, rename, and race to market. One leads, the others follow, until the roles reverse. It's not theft, it's tradition, with a touch of rivalry. And for us boaters, that means better, smarter, more reliable engines, no matter whose badge is on the back. Let's see what actual boaters think. No marketing, no fluff, just real-world experience. I've had my Yamaha for over 20 years. It's like a tank, just keeps going. Yamaha is all about reliability. It holds its value and it rarely lets you down. But when it does need fixing, get ready to spend. And unless you've got dealer software, good luck with the diagnostics. Love the power, love the tech, but if something breaks, I'm not touching it. Straight to the dealer. Mercury packs in the features. Digital controls, fancy displays, joystick steering. It's powerful and smart. But older models had their issues, and with so much tech, more things can go wrong. This thing sips fuel like it's rationed. Quiet, smooth, and easy on the wallet. Suzuki is the underdog with big value, great performance, great fuel economy. The catch? Fewer dealers around, and when you need a part, be patient, shipping can be slow. My Honda? Quiet as a whisper. Never a problem, just not exciting. Honda is smooth, quiet, and dependable. It runs like a car engine, just does its job. But if you want speed or high horsepower, look elsewhere. It's more cruiser than racer. So, what's the best outboard? That depends on you. Want bulletproof reliability? Go Yamaha. Love cutting-edge tech? Mercury's your match. Need value without drama? Suzuki has your back. Prefer quiet, smooth, and simple? Honda's ready to cruise. At the end of the day, the best motor isn't the loudest. It's the one that gets you home every time. So next time you're at the dock, listening to two boaters argue Yamaha versus Mercury like it's a boxing match, remember this. It's not about east or west, not about flash or heritage. It's about your boat, your waters, and what keeps you moving. Because when the sky turns grey and you're 10 miles offshore, you won't care about brand stickers. You'll care that your outboard turns over and gets you home. Thanks for watching, and hey, if this helped steer your decision, hit like, drop a comment, and we'll catch you on the next wave.